Hello from Llanrwst here in North Wales, where the world's best trail runners, 150 athletes from over 20 countries, have come to challenge each other and be challenged by the rough terrain of the beautiful Conwy Valley as they compete for the world title. It's the first time the IAU Trail World Championship has come here to Wales, and it takes place in a region full of history. The 77-kilometre race will start and finish here at the 400-year-old Pont Fawr. The race begins here, outside the old courthouse, Tu hwnt i'r bont, which in Welsh literally means beyond the bridge. And it is beyond the bridge, in the Gwydr forest, that they'll spend most of the race before returning here to the finish. So I'll hand you over now to the race commentator Patrick Winterton, who'll take you through the challenge ahead.
What a turnout we have for the 4th edition of the IAU Trail Running World Championships, an event organised by the IAU whose motto is Beyond the Marathon. And at 77 kilometres, this World Championship race is certainly that. It's almost double the marathon distance. It's made up of 5 15-kilometre loops through the forest on trails which are usually used for mountain biking. With 300 metres of climbing per lap, it's an incredibly tough race, and it's going to be very, very tough to become world champion. The Commonwealth and ultra-distance running World Championships recently held in this area. Llanrwst itself, used to hosting big events, a town has twice hosted the National Eisteddfod. And Llanrwst Parish Church holds the coffin of one of the legendary figures of Welsh history, Llywelyn the Great, the Prince of Gwynedd, who ruled most of Wales for 40 years, up until the year 1240.
So Llanrwst has plenty of Welsh culture for the visiting athletes, but it has played its part on the world stage. Under ancient Welsh princes, it was for a short period made an independent state, free from Welsh and English influence, and in 1947 it applied to the United Nations for a seat on the Security Council. But these days, of course, Llanrwst is part of Wales and it doesn't have its own team, but many countries do, of course. So let's take a look at who's likely to lead the way in our colourful League of Nations.
Well, the Italians are always in contention, and the steeper the better for them. The Norwegians have a big team in numbers and stature. Argentina and Australia have a chance, but it's the French who are the big threat. In Maud Jobert and Eric Labrie, they've got both the reigning champions and a very strong team besides. Labrie believes in team spirit, but he must know his teammates are the ones most likely to steal his crown. Here he is, wishing Brochet, the man who's run him to the line before, good luck.
I hope the result is similar, but after all races are different, and I'm prepared for this race very specially. And if it's that, first, second, seventh, 10, no problem. But I would like to come back in France with not regret. It's my only demand.
So the French are the favourites, but there will be competition from the British team in Ridgeway. A local guy could be a threat, as could Ricky Lightfoot, who was second in the UK team selection.
Great Britain's maybe a bit of a dark horse, but we are here with a strong team, and you know, this is my first time representing Great Britain, so, and a few of the others, so you know, we've got a good chance. It's a good team. For me, you know, I stand on that start line and I think, bloody hell, 47 miles, that's a long way.
So away they go, just under 50 miles to race, 77 kilometres the distance, and Ricky Lightfoot, wearing number 29, straight into the lead for Great Britain. Andrew James is there for Great Britain as well, wearing 32. On the far side, you can just pick out Labrie wearing 21, the reigning champion, tucked in behind Jani Klasila of Finland. And then we've got Brochet wearing 20, tucking in behind Lightfoot. And Brochet really is a big threat today. He finished 5th in the Transvolcania event earlier in the summer, and he's certainly on better form than that now.
We prepare with the French team very seriously. In France, the French team, we have a training camp in June, and it's I think a good circuit for us. So I feel good. I'm really confident. I hope it will be a good race. In the Team France, Julien Rancon is really strong on shortest distance. So we will see if he can run 6 hours fast. All the French team are seriously prepared.
And here they go on the first of 5 laps. Lightfoot still leading. Florian Neuschwander of Germany on the far side in red. He only weighs 56 kilos, so he should enjoy a few climbs. And in fact, he's just won a half marathon event in preparation for this race. So his leg speed should be very good on the flat sections, but there aren't many of them.
5 loop, it's very particular for a race. And the repetition of little climbing and descent, it's very particular. I think we do to start slowly, because I think the end is very hard.
But Julien Rancon certainly isn't starting slowly. The lead 5 as they head down the first descent. Rancon, Lightfoot of Great Britain. Branchet is there for France. Labrie, his teammate. And Torbjørn Ludvigsen of Norway, also a surprise inclusion in that first group of 5. Well, this is the second group led by Nicolas Martin of France. Britain's Ian Ridgway in there as well, wearing 31.
I think it could be a really fast start. It's been interesting how, because it's an aggressive course, so I think it will punish a fast start. These races are you often find they're quite tactical, but I think if 1 or 2 start to go, then they could spread the field quickly.
Eric Labrie, the man leading the way at the moment. Ricky Lightfoot staying with the leaders, but he's not been tempted to push the pace. In fact, there were concerns about his health yesterday, so we'll keep a very careful eye on him. The French seem to be working together, even at this early stage. Ludvigsen of Norway there, considered a threat.
Hopefully I prepared myself good with the speed, but it's going to be tough, that's for sure. And when you have the 5 laps, I think you need to be strong in the head.
Well, they come down out of the woods briefly and into the feed station at the end of the first lap. Rancon showing that the French are always well organised, no times lost at all. The Norwegian pit crew certainly the most vocal. The Vikings are in town.
Hopefully the race turns out perfect for me. I hope I will be satisfied. But I don't get to the finish line thinking, oh, I could run a little bit faster. So I need to be almost dead when I cross the finish line. Then it's perfect.
Well, I think it's absolutely certain he's going to have to push the limits to keep up with the French team who are pushing the pace. They're doing it rather like a cycling peloton, sharing the lead, each one going for a little burst. I wonder whether they're trying to wear out Lightfoot and Ludvigsen. Branchet, his turn out front, tight in the shoulders, but he's got a very efficient stride. Labrie, well, he knows how to win this, having won in Connemara in style. And as a result of that success, the French have really good support here in Wales. Andrew Tuckey of Australia, some distance back, but the Bridgend-based Australian raced 100 kilometres recently in the Blue Mountains in May, and he did pretty well in the Welsh Castles race as well. Could be worth watching.
Because when you get into the race, you tend to just get caught up in it, and people go off fast, and you just get caught up and start racing early. So you try and keep it down, keep the pace down a bit early, and try and move through the crowd as well. But it's tough on a trail race because you can't really just do sort of kilometre or mile splits and just kind of stick to them, because with the terrain it's up and down, and the splits don't really mean much. So yeah, try and be sensible, just get in a good position and then try and move through the field.
Tuckey's compatriot Kirsten Bull is a proven ultra-distance runner and a strong contender today, and showing similar tactics to Tuckey.
I can really race plenty of time to slowly catch them one by one.
Well, this is the person that she needs to catch, Nathalie Mauclair. 20 seconds quicker than any other woman over the first kilometre. A phenomenal start. It seems a risky strategy, but there's no doubt that she's on form. Her teammate Maud Joubert, the reigning champion, seems to be struggling in the early stages. Truel looks surprised to be passing Joubert, pushing the champion back down into third as she goes second. The Italian women, a very different tactic. They've started slowly. Jo Zakchevsky of Great Britain, the doctor from Dumfries, looking good at the moment. Nice start from her.
Oh, I think it's an absolutely beautiful place. I know you've obviously fixed the weather for us, but it's got a bit of everything, hasn't it? It's got a hillside, it's got trees, it's got scenery, it's lovely. We came here last night, so we had a look at the first couple of kilometres, and it was short and sharp and steep, but you wouldn't expect it to be flat, would you? It's a World Championship race, and if you're not apprehensive, you're not showing the course enough respect.
Here's the women's race leader, Mauclair, who started fast and just seems to be getting stronger and stronger as this race goes on. And the fact that she's minutes ahead of the rest of the women doesn't seem to take away that competitive edge. She wants to capitalise on every second she's gained so far.
With 5.5 hours likely to be the winning time, these athletes will need a lot more fuel that they can store in their body. And every competitor, of course, has their own preferred fuel for their engine, if you like. So these feed stations here become absolutely crucial to those who want to sustain a race-winning pace till the very end.
The nutrition one is something that I think takes years and years to master. And I think as long as you always are making sure you're getting the fuel in, even if you don't feel like eating or drinking, then that's important. You know, you get a map and you see, oh yeah, it's quite undulating and some nasty hills there, but you know, because it is a 5-loop course, once you've done one lap, there's no unexpected, so you know where to go hard, where to go easy.
Well, the men are still going hard, and the French team tactics seem to be having an effect, but ironically, it's one of their own, Labrie, who's the first to drop off the pace. And also Norwegian Ludvigsen struggling a bit. He's now 40 metres back. Ranger and Rancon will now have to work on Ricky Lightfoot. Mauclair still storming it. Truel in second place. And Italy's Maria Chiara Parighi into third as the Italians start to make their move. And as they go beyond the marathon distance, this is where it starts to hurt.
Mentally, I draw on inspiration from others, and when I'm having a tough time, I think of maybe the tough times they've had, or even just some words of encouragement that they've given me. So I've asked my friends to send me words of, you know, encouragement or tough times that they use when they're out racing, especially my running friends, and they've all sent me some really funny things, so I'm going to be using a lot of them when I'm out there.
Well, there's no doubt that Maud Joubert is in one of those tough times right now. She's being caught by Jo Zakchevsky of Great Britain.
Hey.
Hey again.
How's it going?
Good. Lovely support as well. And nice to get shade.
How are things going? Going to plan?
Yeah, feeling good actually. Not bad for a road runner, eh? This is the reigning champion. Oh my word.
Well, that overtaking manoeuvre putting Zakchevsky up into 5th position and certainly closing on the podium positions. Things changing in the front of the men's field. Ranger has joined Labrie and Ludvigsen by dropping off the leader's pace. I guess now it's a question of whether Rancon and Lightfoot can survive the early pace that was really brutal. Rancon, a former winner of the Snowdon race. Now we know he can climb a bit. The question is, can he go the distance? Lightfoot, well, he's had 13 races this year. He's won 10 of them. Can he make it 11 out of 14? Well, this is going to be a fascinating duel, which will unfold on the next 2 laps.
Well, we're a few hours into the race now. French are looking strong. Team GB, they're doing well too, but literally the men and women's titles are still up for grabs. Could be anybody's, so come back and see who lifts those titles after the break. Welcome back to Llanrwst and the IAU Trail World Championships Wales 2013, and this year it takes place in the Conwy Valley. It's a stunning landscape, rich in tradition, and if you look behind me, you will see the Gwydir Castle. It overlooks the racecourse, and it was built hundreds of years ago for the aristocratic Wyn dynasty, but these days it's famous for its peacocks and its gardens. And as legend has it, 1 or 2 ghosts, including Lord of the Manor himself, Sir John Wyn. So before he makes an appearance, let's go back to the racecourse to see who's lording it over Llanrwst this afternoon.
Well, if the pace that the men are setting is anything to go by, this is a very tough race indeed. Over 4 minutes 15 for each kilometre covered. The lead group of Lightfoot from Great Britain, Rancon from France, they've been going head-to-head for the last 20 minutes. Branger of France still down in 3rd place. And in the women's event, it is all about Natalie Mauclair. She's destroyed the women's field early on, and for the last hour, she's been carving her way through the men's field as well. And now with 50 of the 77 kilometres completed, we finally have a solo leader in the men's race. It's Ricky Lightfoot. Rancon of France has gone. Lightfoot has empty tracks behind him.
You are, yeah. I prefer my own company.
Rancon took a fall at the start of the last 16-kilometre loop. Ali, he's going to need a lot of support just to get to the finish.
Hey Ricky, you're ahead, but every second counts for the team. What am I at? We're 9 minutes at the bottom. Every second counts for the team. The line second team.
So he's 9 minutes clear, but the team event involves the best 3 and a cumulative time, so that is why every second counts. Florian Neuschwander of Germany. Well, Germany won't win the team competition, but perhaps he's now the only threat to Ricky Lightfoot.
Okay.
A little bit of ice spray to keep the swelling down. Some would say placebo. Either way, it's going to help. Rancon looks broken. Well, he's grazed his knee, you can see that. That's a result of the fall, but the French really need him to push on because they will not win the team event if he drops out. Tiny bit of swelling there.
You okay, mate? Do you need any
water? Water. It is desperately hot for this sort of an event. Even the French are struggling. Ian Ridgway is starting to close in on the leading 4, and he's still moving very fluently. Well, that's a boost to Ridgway, passing Thierry Brie of France, and another boost for the British team. Ridgway calling for ibuprofen. Well, he's going to need a large dose of mental strength as well as the anti-inflammatories.
You don't really think about running 77k, you just think about do the first lap, see how you feel and just housekeep. Then you do a second lap, then maybe you run to a marathon, then you think, oh, just like, you know, another half marathon to go.
Less than half a marathon to go for Rancon of France. Still that knee's bothering, but he has to get on with it. Ricky Lightfoot away and clear and still in the zone.
You know, there's odd stupid stuff comes into your mind. You think about your family and stuff, and you know what you're going to do next week. And I'm back at work tomorrow, so probably think about work tomorrow. But yeah, it's what you've got to do. And once you get going, a lot of the time you just forget about it, and it's, you know, you race and you race to the finish.
And he is closing in on the finish now. A man who runs for Team Salomon, does all his training in the Lake District, and it's served him well. He's proved he can cope with the hills, and he's proved he can cope with the distance today. 77 kilometres completed. He is the world champion. Ricky Lightfoot takes gold for Great Britain. What a performance. And straight over to his fiancée. What a moment for them. And we have to consider what Lightfoot has done for British hopes of taking the team title.
We were told that you weren't feeling very well yesterday. Is this true? Bad head, had to go to bed, not the ideal preparation.
No, yesterday at the opening ceremony, well, we went for a run in the morning. I had a bit of a migraine and it sort of dissipated a little and it come back, and I was sick walking back to the hotel with our physio.
You know, I lied down for a couple hours and just chilled out in the room. I just had to be in a dark room. So, but no, you know, last time I was sick as well. I won the race the day after, so maybe there's something in there. Thinking about it at the start, I was full of dread. 5-lap course and 47 mile. It's not my forte, I would say, but I enjoyed it out there. You know, I never felt there was a point that I was pushing too hard. Oh, it was brilliant. You know, definitely the first 2 and 3 laps, the French were getting a lot of support, and it slowly the French started to get quieter and they started cheering us at the end. So yeah, it was great to have some good support out there.
And one of few people to produce a faster final lap than Lightfoot, it's Florian Neuschwander. He's paced this to perfection. He wasn't expecting a podium finish. He's got himself second and he's delighted. Rancon, hats off to this man. He took a big fall. He's pulled himself together and he's recovered to take 3rd place. That was tough. Well, let's have a look at the scoreboard. Lightfoot, Neuschwander, Rancon, the 3 men on the podium today. 5:36.03 the winning time. Ian Ridgway, a brilliant 4th for Great Britain, 20 minutes 30 seconds behind. And the spread of times indicative of how tough this course is. And 11th place for Andrew James, good enough to claim the team title for Great Britain over France and Germany. In the women's event, France dominant thanks to Mauclair, Italy second, GBR down in 3rd, 6:38.45, 24th overall Mauclair from the 100 finishers on the day. A brilliant performance, started fast, finished faster. She takes the title away from Maud Jobert, who really was below par today. There you see the times in the women's individual. France 1 and 2 with Mauclair and Truel. And Maria Chiara Parighi of Italy in 3rd. The leaderboard dominated by France and Italy today.
"77 kilometres, 5 laps. How tough is that mentally as well as physically?
Not mentally, just run. And without thinking, just fly. The place is beautiful, the weather was good, so very beautiful day.
A fantastic attitude and a fantastic performance by Joanna Zachewski of Great Britain. She gets 4th, just missing out on the podium.
Well, Jo, you crossed in 4th place. Phenomenal achievement. I can't quite work out if you're happy or not, though.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. Oh, I just can't get over it. I just started slowly, just worked my way up, try and run steadily, don't go off too fast, keep hydrated, and just keep enjoying it every lap. I did think that I might just quite get 3rd at the end, but I just couldn't. And it was nice as I set out on my last lap to hear that Ricky was already on his way back in.
Well, it's been a great day for British trail running, and the French have also proved just how strong they are. But more importantly is that it's been another successful international event held here in Wales. So from Conwy, until the next time, bye for now.